Today we're going to draw a desert scene using 1-point perspective. So we need a ruler and we need a pencil and eventually a Sharpie before we color. We're going to place down our ruler and draw a line going down the middle of our paper, or across the paper, I mean. Draw this one line kind of light, because we may not need it later. It's up to you. But also, we're going to have to erase in between, because we're going to draw cactuses in front of it. Our next step is to take our ruler and draw a line that goes from this point of the horizon line all the way up to the corner of our paper. Draw this line very light too. We're going to erase it later. And it's okay if it doesn't totally hit the point perfect. We just want this triangle shape going across our page. Okay, so we have our horizon line and then the two lines going to the corner. I'm going to make this a little darker so you guys can see it, because I'm not sure if you'll be able to see it on camera. But yours, don't draw them this dark, because you want to be able to erase them. Okay. So our first step for our drawing is to make cactuses. And we're using 1-point perspective, so the things towards our vanishing point are going to be a lot smaller than the things that are over here. So you can start to draw tiny cactuses over here, or cacti, I mean. And they'll start the bottom of them on this bottom line, and then they'll end on the top one. And as you get further away from the vanishing point, they'll get larger. And you don't have to always start them on this line. You can start putting some behind each other and overlapping, like this. And maybe the ones that are getting closer, maybe you can put more things coming off the side of it. We'll talk about details later, but something else you can put to make these more interesting later are like little flowers. See why I said at the beginning this line is eventually going to be erased, right where the cactuses are. We'll still need it behind the cactus though, because that's going to be a horizon line or a ground line. This drawing is a lot more simple than the aquarium project. We're just making our cactus bigger and bigger as we get to the corner of our page. For the edge, I mean. Okay, I think I'm going to draw my final cactus right here. Okay, so now we've got our rows of cacti. The next step is to erase those diagonal lines we made. It's gonna be kind of hard for me to erase mine because I drew mine dark so you guys could see it. You could leave this line and maybe create a road that goes across here. How you would create a road is by using that line. And then another line right next to it. Lining up with the point, going down. So, like this. Sliding it diagonal. And you could add some dashes. Maybe this is like a highway that's going down the desert road. Maybe you want the background of your desert to be kind of like lumpy. You could change this horizon line into like a squiggly line. It's up to you. Something else you could do in your background is maybe adding some mountain lines. So, thinking like Arizona or Colorado, where they have these weirdly shaped mountains, not those triangle ones you see in cartoons. Kind of like Grand Canyon style, if you're familiar with that. So I got 1, 2. Some more details you could add into your drawing are plant life or extra things on your cactus. Cacti for plural. You could add in some flowers like I mentioned earlier, because some cactuses, they do grow flowers on them. So I'm gonna add a few on top of my cacti. You could also decide to add some spikes. Think of some details to make your drawing more interesting and different from others. around you. Okay. Maybe some over here. I mentioned earlier plant life, so things like have you seen those spiky looking plants? Like, I'll draw some in the corner over here. They're not exactly cacti, but they do grow in these desert kind of climates. You can draw a few of those somewhere on your drawing. Maybe a line going down the middle. Another style of cacti you could draw is a prickly pear. And you can do that by drawing these like oval-like shapes that are made into like a point on one of the sides. So they kind of look like a teardrop shape, actually. And make a few of them coming off of each other. And you got a prickly pear. You can draw some dashed lines in between to make it look spiky. I may add one over here. Remember, things that are further away, they're smaller. Whatever details you add are up to you. You could also add some animals in here. Something else you could add to your drawing is rocks. Stones. The desert doesn't get much rain, but you could add some clouds in there. I'm gonna Sharpie mine real quick so you'll be able to see what it looks like.